Okay, so yeah, there's a lot to do and not a lot of help. That's how it is, right? Is what it is. So we have black all taped underneath. We're gonna vacuum one more time because just as you walk on this OSB, it just, those little things just kind of come up, little splinters of wood, right? And so once we lay the Marley over top of it, it's fine. It's just right now as we're walking on it and working on it without the Marley on it, little pieces are coming up. Little tiny, like here you can see on the black tape then, just little pieces. So we're gonna vacuum over it one more time because Marley is not super forgiving. You have to make sure that it's a really pretty clean, solid surface underneath it. We've done Marley outside before for outdoor things and it's just impossible. Like any little tiny pebble you see, and it kind of like the Marley settles around it and then that just really pops up. So we are gonna vacuum one more time in here and then try to lay Marley out in here. I want to show you one fun thing from the other night. So we had that ADC All Access event where the kids got to just kind of come, see the space, see things that they're not normally going to get to see, like the staff lounge, for example. And it was a really cool event. We opened it up to everybody, but we had limited spots. And, you know, we actually didn't have a ton of interest where we had to even worry about opening more spots or not. So it was a small group, but more by selection than design, I guess. But what a special thing, right? Like, I just think about these kids when they're then adults and they have their own kids and they bring them to dance or even just drive by the building, whatever, and they say, you know, I have this like mural on the wall there. Yeah, behind the mirrors. So cool. Just cool. So those parents that participated in that event, like, kudos to you because you saw the value in that, and I think it's so much bigger than today. The value wasn't in today. The value's in they get to carry that with them for the rest of their lives. How cool. Yeah? So I want to show you their little murals in here. It's pretty cool. So they each like got a little taped off area. You know, kids, they need boundaries. They need boundaries. She dated it. But yeah, so they each had their own little spot and they could draw or, you know, make a design or draw a picture, write a quote. Be yourself, there's no one better. Aw. So anyway, we just told them the only instructions they had was obviously keep it positive, keep it kind, you know, uplifting kind of thing. And this will live behind the mirrors here in the black studio. So mirrors will go from this wall, or from the door there, all the way down to the door, well, the thermostat and light switch there. And so yeah, these little boxes will just be living behind the mirrors the whole time as the dancers are dancing. I just think those types of meaningful things are what it's all about. That's the heart of it, right? So yeah, all right. And then I want to just show you one more thing. You know how it gets when like you're tired and you know people don't behave like you and you can kind of start to get a little crabby. I'm over these contractors being in the space. So somebody needed a doorstop apparently. Remember, we've been through this multiple times too, right? Like, we've needed a bench, so we went and stole the piano bench and ate lunch on it and left a bunch of food mess on the piano bench and things like that, right? So somebody apparently needed a doorstop. And, you know, we're at this weird time where it's like, we can't wait and leave the space completely empty until contractors are completely out. Otherwise, it would be more like October 1st that we'd be able to start dance, which is not an option in my mind. So we're having to move our stuff in, but still having contractors in, which is really starting to get tricky. because when they need a doorstop, apparently they think that this is a good option. Yeah, that's a speaker. So we're using a speaker, a portable speaker, so it has a ton of stuff on the back. You know, cords and batteries and antennas and all these different things, but we're using that to hold the door open. Like, these are the things, you guys. The door needs to be open. There's 2 doors into this room. They both don't need to be open. You can get in out of one. So anyway, so it's kind of one of those things where, like, and 2, we had bought this really nice Dyson vacuum because this building is so huge, and so the batteries on the Dysons are really good, really great suction, lightweight for our staff, and portable, right? We don't have to have an outlet. So, like, for example, when we're vacuuming the waiting room, you would have to have an actual extension cord, big drop cord out to be able to vacuum because that room is so big. A regular vacuum cord runs out before you can get to the middle of the room. And so, yeah, so we buy this nice Dyson, and now here we are, you know, vacuuming up construction stuff with it. So it's just, we're just at that point where there's no good organized way to really be efficient, and I struggle with that because I work very hard to be as efficient as humanly possible, which is part of the reason that, you know, the business is as successful as it is, because I don't purchase something and then turn around and break it right away and then have to go buy a new one. That's not efficient. That's not cost effective. And that really hurts your bottom line as a business to be doing that constantly. Mistakes happen once in a while, absolutely. But, you know, having to replace brand new carts that we've just purchased, having to replace brand new speakers we've just purchased, multiple things, it's just getting a little, I'm a little over it. So we're getting to the point here that we're getting closer and closer and closer. I'm excited to, you know, get everything rekeyed and everything too, so that, you know, we're really in control of who is in and out of the building, which will be awesome. So we're getting there. You know, you always hit that kind of frustration point, which is normal, especially when you're doing a lot of the work yourself. Everybody gets tired. You know, we haven't had good luck with our staff being super available. You know, maybe for a couple hours here and there, but you know, not really able to give us like any weekend time or anything. And so that's kind of challenging, but the whole world is short-staffed. It is kind of what it is, and there is a new generation that, you know, thinks a little bit differently than we do. So that's something I'm working on understanding as well, but, you know, either way, we'll get it done. Yeah. So yeah, I think so much of joy and fulfillment and the magic comes from working really, really hard for something. And to be honest, I feel really bad for people who don't have that work ethic, because then you miss out on that joy and all that magic that happens, right? You never get to feel that. I can't imagine never feeling that in my life. So, you know, I hope to just continue to be a mentor and an example, so that they can maybe one day feel what that's like, and for all of our students as well. You know, we try to role model that, because there is some really deep fulfillment that comes from giving your all to something. And by all, it doesn't mean you're all 9 to 5. No, that's not your all. You know, you're all 24/7, 7 days a week, all the time, round the clock. That's where there's a really, really deep fulfillment, when you've dedicated like that, when you have that deep of dedication for something, and that deep of passion and belief. And so anyway, it's hard for me to understand but I'm trying, and I'm trying to lead and continue to grow myself and grow our staff, and keep challenging yourself. So anyway, that's where we're at. So Marley, one roll just got brought up. You can see it right there. 2 rolls will go in the black studio. So Josh and I will figure out how to lift it and get it rolled out. Rolling it out's not hard. The lifting it part is a little bit tricky, but we'll figure it out. All right, so we'll keep you posted. Okay, one thing I want to clarify, I was just thinking about what I was just saying. I want to clarify, there's always exceptions. I'm not making any sort of blanket statement here that I didn't want it to sound like that. There's always exceptions, and we do have some amazing staff. So I wasn't saying that. Just saying that the end of the day, here we are the weekend before and last weekend too, doing a lot of it ourselves. And just that I think that giving your all to something, to a cause, to a mission, can be really rewarding. And so yeah, that's all I was saying. Just didn't want it to be taken the wrong way by anybody. We have some really amazing staff. We have some exceptional staff that truly do not, they're not the stereotype at all as far as a generation or a certain age group or anything like that. But I just will say that stereotypes do exist for a reason, and not everyone is exceptional, and that's okay. We're here to mentor and continue to help grow everybody. So that's just something that I've been thinking a lot about these last couple weeks, when I'm like, okay, season of life, go, go, go. We're going to be exhausted. Yes. We're hardly going to see our kids. Yes. We're absolutely not going to have time for friends. I mean, I barely get to see my kids, let alone friends or anything else. But gosh, we're making something really magical happen here. Of course, that's worth giving up some of those things for a few weeks, right? And just trying to model that, because I think that there's some really good things that can come out of that. Not living like that all the time. I'm not saying that. But being able to give yourself to something for a period of time and really giving it your all, I think that's where really deep joy and happiness and fulfillment comes from. And I think that we're seeing a lot of mental health issues and things with this younger generation. They're searching for fulfillment. They're searching for that deep joy and happiness. And I don't know that it's found in a therapist's office, is I guess what I'm getting at. My belief is it's found in really putting your heart into something, and your soul into something, and every ounce of your being into something, and seeing something great come of it. Whether that be, I'm not talking about just dance studio, whether that be raising a child, whether that be a certain career, whether that be your church. It can be a lot of different things. But I think that there's too much of a trend these days of like balance. You always have to have balance, and I think that they're like too much balance constantly. If every day you live in quote unquote balance, you're never actually fully like giving yourself to something then. 'Cause you're like, oh no, but I gotta go over here and I've got to spend time with these people, and I gotta do this and I gotta do that and I gotta do. And I think that sometimes we're missing the mark on that then, where we need to be really diving into something for a period of our life and really, really giving it everything we've got. And from my experience, some really, really deep fulfillment comes from that and can carry you through a very long period of time then on the other side. So anyway, I hope that for everybody. I hope to inspire that in some, and that's about all, all you can hope for is that other people can find a deep fulfillment and purpose. I think it comes down to purpose too. So hoping that for everyone, but you gotta take the opportunity, right? You gotta take the opportunity. Step up and help and be a part of something bigger than you. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll keep you posted. Hopefully we'll have Marley down here in a little bit. All right, so I wanted to give you a quick update. Spot TV is done. There's a few cleanup things that are going to need to be done. I'll show you that in a minute. But the cameras are all up. There's, I think, something like 24 here at this building. Some exterior ones, lots of interior ones. Of course, the ones to the studio. So 2 of the 4 viewing monitors are up. So I just wanted to show you what that looks like. So there we go. There's the 6 studios. So that works out pretty nicely to be able to just kind of have, you know, have an eye on what's going on. So, but this is what I mean, we've done a lot of cleaning up after them so far, but again, it's just contractors. It's part of it. But it's just hard when like I said, we're trying to fit a month's worth of putting studios together in a week, and it's just hard to get everything done we need to get done and also clean up with them and, you know, answer their questions and stuff like that. It's just been a really challenging week, let's put it that way. But is it all worth it? Yes. So absolutely worth it. So anyway, you know, things are just gonna be a little bit of a fluid type situation, work in progress for a couple weeks here as we really get, you know, the mirrors need to come in yet. Spot TV is kind of done, but yet, like, look at the cords hanging. We got to figure out something to do with that. So there's just going to be things that aren't quite to our level of excellence right away. And as much as I dislike it, there's really not much we can do about it. We're doing everything we can to get as much done as we can. So, yeah, I will keep you guys updated as the progress of today goes by. We have staff training like all day tomorrow, and then we have kids in the building tomorrow evening. And so, yeah, we have today. And there's lots of stuff to do before today's over. So we're going to get as much done as we can. And then, you know, next weekend we'll be hard at it again to make sure everything gets done as much as possible. That's all we can do. So, yeah, but I'll keep you posted because it's still only afternoon. We'll get some stuff done here in the next few hours. But Spot TV is done. They're out of here. So one less contractor in our space. At this point, I think we're down to the internet network guy. He has, I think, a few more things to do. He's done quite a bit. You can see the access points. It's hard for me to see on the screen. It is right between the fire alarm thing. It's kind of like up from that on the ceiling. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that or not. I can't see it on the screen. There's one, there's kind of glowing blue. There's one there in the hallway. So he's done a lot, but I think there's still some left for him to do. So I think he's still in here, but honestly, he has been fabulous to work with. And so I don't have any concerns about that, I guess. But yeah, so he will be in here. And then there was one more thing. Oh, the painting situation, that's kind of ongoing. I don't know. General contractor wants him to come back and make it right and fix it. But it's not everything that's going to get fixed, obviously. And I'm more like, I really don't want him back in here. So we're just kind of trying to figure out, you know, the best course of action there. I think it's just going to be something that we're going to struggle with. The paint just does not, especially the black on the metal, just does not seem like it wants to stick. Like it acts like it wants to fall off. I mean, you barely bump it with something and it wants to peel. And to me, that just doesn't seem like, if you're a professional, like, you would know what type of paint to use on something or what needs to be done to a surface prior to make it stick, right? So it's a little perplexing, and we're really just trying to kind of figure out what happened. You know, sitting back like this, it looks good, you know, like the trim, the door, like, it looks good from 12 feet away, but you get a little bit closer and you start to see, like, you can kind of see there's like drip marks at the top. There's a bunch of like marks and just fingerprints and scuffs, and I mean, and all the doors, I mean, I didn't pick this door on purpose. Literally, you could go to any of them and they look like that. I haven't even had people in the space yet, so it's a little bit, or barely had people in the space, so it's a little bit, you know, alarming, right? Of what, that's like a handprint, of what it's gonna look like once people get in the space. So that's I mean, there's a full handprint there. That's kind of my concern, honestly, more than just touching up certain things in there. So we'll see. But possibly still some stuff with the painters happening as well. So, but other than that, we're getting to the point where we're gonna really get those contractors out and do our own thing and lock them out. And you know, that way when we do have contractors here, we have to let them in. We can set those boundaries. They don't just walk in whenever they want, because they all have keys. So anyway, we're gonna keep working on this Marley and keep you posted. All right, I'm out of breath. This is gonna be a long afternoon. So we got one strip done in one studio, not done, but laid out and walked out, and I'll talk about what that means in a second. So one strip, about 59 feet is what the studio is. So we're gonna use 5 new rolls. So each roll is about 101 something feet long. And so we will start fresh with this studio, because this is kind of our premier studio, the one that's going to get danced on the most by the most advanced students. And so we don't want we want as few seam lines as we possibly can. So between this studio and pink, we're going to use 5 rolls. This is about 59 feet. So then the remainder is going to be about perfect to go over and go into pink. So yeah, that's where we're at. So yeah, we're going to go lay these out. But what happens, and I forgot to, I'll show you once we get the next roll out what it looks like. But you can kind of see how there's some of these little bubbles along the side here. When you first roll it out, there's more than that typically. And so with Marley, what you do is you take your shoes off and you just kind of like slide your feet towards the open end, is what we do. And you call it chug it out or walk it out. And you just are kind of pushing, continually pushing the bubble, the ripple, whatever you want to call it, towards the open end. So you start way down there and just walk it. So I'm out of breath. I just did this one. This is probably about as good as we can get. You'll notice that there's none of these ripples actually go all the way across. They're just on one side. That's really typical with Marley. It comes on a roll, so it just can get like that a little bit. And so what we do then is let it sit out. Usually, ideally, you let it sit out for a few days. We're gonna let it sit out for, a few hours. We turn the air off in here because Marley likes to be warm. It kind of gets not melty like literally, but it gets a little bit more pliable as it gets warmer, and so it's going to kind of melt. Again, not literally, but it's kind of going to melt into the floor a little bit more. The warmer it gets, you'll see these kind of start to just fall to the floor. So we are, turn the air off in here. Let it get a little warmer, and we should see those kind of sit down a little more. And then we'll roll out. Josh is getting the next roll, so we'll roll out that next roll, and we'll do the same thing. We'll leave a little space between this one and that one for now, and then just kind of slowly get them into their spots. But first, it's got to lay out and breathe a little bit first, and then we'll really get them in their spots. Then you let it sit. Ideally, we'll probably have to tape tomorrow morning. You don't want to tape it right away. Ideally, you let it sit for a few days, then you tape it. We're only going to let it sit for tonight, and probably come back and tape it tomorrow morning. And it'll be ready for kids to dance on at that point. Once it's taped, you're good to go. So yeah, got another roll. We'll get this one out. All right, guys, keep you posted. All right, guys, quick update for you. We got 4 strips down, 1 more to go. The plan is to leave a little bit of strip up front in front of the mirrors. We'll see if I decide to do that. If we have extra Marley, I might just lay Marley, but that wasn't the initial plan, so I didn't buy Marley for that. So now that I'm seeing it, I'm changing my mind a little bit, but we'll see. But yeah, so you can see that first strip still has the most ripples in it. The way they get on the roll kind of affects that a little bit. But for the most part, you can walk a lot of them out. But yeah, notice how they keep being on the same side. But this one looks pretty good. This last one I did. Luckily, my brother showed up to help, so that's nice to have an extra set of hands. Him and Josh can do the heavy part. I can work on walking these out. So yeah, that's our update. We have, it's like 5 o'clock. So we'll probably work for another 5 hours or so, hopefully, and get a lot of this done. It's, again, moving a lot faster now that Andrew's here, so that might take a little bit. But after this stuff gets out, there's cleaning that needs to be done from Spot TV. They are done now, but there's still some cleaning that needs to happen. And then more of the micro stuff. Like, I need to walk around and really think through like little things. Do we have signs when people walk up the stairs that clearly label each studio, right? And like those types of things. So a little bit more micro thinking needs to happen on my part to ensure success for everybody. But yeah, so we're getting there. A little update for you. We'll update you again soon. All right, we're starting in the pink studio. And I wanted to show you before we get it covered up. They did some artwork on the floor. You can kind of see it in here as well, just like they did in the black studio behind what will be the mirrors. So yeah, leaving their mark a little bit. So now we'll remember what's under here. Star, a smiley face. That one's kind of hard to see because it's green. But yeah, so they have a lot of different fun things in here. Somebody wrote hello over here. Oh. Give it your all. So these are the things that, nobody will really knows under here, but they will. These kids will, and it'll stay with them forever. and puts good vibes, into the space, I think, as well. So really a neat thing for the kids who got to do it, but also a really neat thing for me and for the teachers to know, and for other students as well. So all right, we're gonna keep working away. Black Studio is pretty much all laid out. We decided we are gonna lay one more strip that goes all the way, so that one's gonna go wall to wall. And then we close the doors and turn the heat on in there. So we're gonna go ahead and let that get a little warm in there so that Marley will sit down a little better. And then we're getting this taped off so that we can get Marley laying out in here. So once that stuff gets laying out, hopefully we'll see it. It's pretty warm outside right now, so hopefully we'll see it lay down pretty nicely, pretty quickly. The sooner we can tape it, the better, as far as just our timeline. Usually, like I said, Marley needs to lay out for a few days, so we'll see. We'll see what we can do. But all right, that's the update for now. Well, came back into Black Studio. Marley's looking good. We know the heat works now. It is real hot. It's like a sauna in here. And those of you who know me, I hate being hot. I would much rather be cold. I get hot very easily on my own, like in an average setting when normal people feel good, at 70, I get a little toasty. So, whoo, it is hot in here. But it does help the Marley kind of just, like I said, it melts a little bit. It just kind of gets a little more pliable, and it just will relax a little bit more. And I'm just gonna keep walking it out, and hopefully we might be able to tape it tonight. I don't know, we'll see. It's still got some ripples in it. Maybe later tonight, maybe. We'll see if we can leave it hot in here. Maybe. So, I don't know. But yeah, so, and then I've kind of shifted my thinking a little bit here as I'm doing some of this, walking it out, pushing these ripples out kind of work. It's a little bit mindless, right? So you can think about other things. I've started to think a little bit more micro, and thinking about what signs need to get put up and kind of add them to the list in my phone. So that's what I've been doing as I kind of just move around the space. Like if I see something, I'm just going to jot it down, because we're getting to that point that we need to think micro. So yeah, we're going to keep working this out and see if it'll lay down a little bit better, hopefully. And then we will get to a point where hopefully maybe we can tape. But so yeah, keep you updated. Pink Studio's moving along. They're vacuuming and rolling Marley out in there right now. We're just trying to get this to, those can't be there. They can't be there. So you can't tape it like that. So, I mean, they can't be there obviously for dancing, but if you tape it like that and then it falls where it's supposed to, you're obviously just you're not helping the situation at that point. You're making it harder for the Marley to settle where it needs to go. So, good thing, we definitely know the heat works in here. It is seriously like a sauna, and I absolutely hate it. Hot yoga, right? We could do this. I wouldn't be doing it or teaching it, but people like it. Anyway, so we're just gonna keep working away here. Unfortunately, like I said, I just don't have a lot of help right now, and with this kind of stuff, you do kind of have to know what you're doing, right? Like dancers, like if you ever dance at a company, you learn how to do this. And so like our teachers, some of them would be good help with this as they've done it, but just yeah, what we were talking about earlier. So yeah, doing as much as we can. Yep. So we'll just probably have to keep pushing and figuring out a schedule that's going to work. Maybe everybody needs to pick a weekend in September to come in and work on a Saturday or something. It's just part of it. We've got to get it done. So we'll figure it out, but definitely need more than 3 people working in a 32,000 square foot building to get much accomplished in a timely manner. And again, we can't control the construction didn't get done until a week before classes started. That it just is what it is, and we have to roll with it and be flexible and help out when we can, right? So, all right, guys, I'm gonna keep walking this out. Hopefully I don't pass out. All right, I'll keep you posted. Bye. All right, hey guys, so quick update. We got the sauna happening in here, but black is looking pretty good. Few bumps still. We're gonna leave it cranked up overnight, tape them in the morning. We'll tape inside seams only to start with, which will help it continue to settle, being that we're taping it a little bit sooner than we should. And then kids will be on it tomorrow afternoon. So that's exciting. I'm picking up after the guys a little bit here right now, just Marley scraps and things like that. And then, yeah, we are going to move a few things into the student lounge, because we do have kids using the student lounge tomorrow night. So yeah, we're gonna get that kind of put together and then probably call it a night for tonight here. So this is what's fun about this. Then I go home and work in the office till 3 or so, just to try to get some office time in, because there's so much to do on that end as well. That's like my normal work, right? And this is all extra. So yeah, fun times. But yeah, it's getting there. Pink is looking good. Pink is actually laying out a little bit nicer. We don't know if it's just they're a little bit shorter strips. I don't know. But pink is looking really good. So we're going to make sure that the heat is cranked in this one as well, and leave there's just stuff everywhere. But we're gonna make sure the heat is cranked in here overnight as well. And then we'll set at 78. So till 6:30, it'll run to 78. That works. So yeah, we'll get some of these scraps and stuff picked up. And yeah, it's about, just to kind of keep track of like how long it's taking us, about 9 p.m. right now. And there was, for the majority of the night, 3 of us doing it. Started off with 2 of us. It was going real slow, but for most of it, there was 3 of us. So yeah. One thing I'm noticing is that, this Marley, I don't know, there's still these little ripples in it, even when it's like wanting to lay out. This is the same exact Marley that we bought for our current former location. So I think it just needs a little bit more time, because we have not had any ripples in our floor at all. So maybe I'm just forgetting. It's probably been, what, 9 years ago? Is that right? Something like that. I guess that we did this. So yeah, I might just be forgetting. But still, even as it's looking much better than the black studio, there's still little ripples you can kind of see along the seams. So I don't know. We'll see. All right, I'm going to keep picking up. We'll move the student lounge stuff. And then for here, we'll call it a night. And I'll go home and work in the office. We have staff training tomorrow from pretty much all day, 11:30 to 8 p.m. Different groups are coming at different times. But I'm leading all the staff training because it's a lot of stuff. It's like our on-site training. So they've already done their big training. It's like 18 hours or something of retreat training that they do over the course of a weekend. That's done. This is more the on-site stuff, walking the spaces, making sure they know where everything is located. And so we really couldn't do much planning for that until we were really getting in the spaces and feeling them out. So trying to get all that, planned and finished and worked out and, ready to go for them tomorrow. And then leading all that. And then, yeah. And all the regular things, right? Like we have, 500 families that are getting ready to start dance this week. And I've got, stuff I want to communicate with them as well. So yeah, fun stuff. But I just have to keep reminding myself of the why, right? Like whenever you're in those hard times, just think about why. Why do you do it? And typically, if you really go deep, it's for a really, really good reason, and it's really worth it. So that's the case here. And so we'll keep working hard. And I also just keep reminding myself that I will get a few days off here at some point when things kind of calm down just a little bit and we get some of these big projects handled. I'm able to step away for a little bit once things are up and running and take a little bit of family time or something. So that's keeping me going too. All right, guys, I'll probably vlog one more time before we leave tonight just to show you the makeshift student lounge that we get set up for right now for them. And yeah, and then you don't want to see the computer stuff. That's boring. So we'll probably stop the vlog there. All right. See you guys in a little bit. All right, guys. We're so down to the wire. So much to do in so little time. So Josh is working on, it's about, 10 something. It is 10:15. Luckily, my mom said okay when I asked her if the boys could stay at her house tonight because I knew this was going to happen. So Josh is working on the lock for the student lounge. What we decided to do with that, in our old student lounge, we kind of had issues with, we had the posted rules, we emailed the rules, and of course, if there's not someone standing there holding people accountable, things just happen and rules don't get followed, right? And so what happened before was reception was kind of in charge of it, but it was hard for them to be able to manage both those spaces. And we had a lot of kids that would just wander into the lounge that really weren't supposed to be in there. And that caused a few different issues. One, there was a couple times where things got trashed. Not maliciously, just that it was too young of kids in there and they weren't being supervised. And, they just did a couple different things that really ruined, physically ruined the space. And then the other thing that happens is, the kids who really need the lounge, the kids that are here for 2 classes and then they have a half-hour break and they need to study or they need to eat or whatever, and then they go back to class. Those are the kids that the lounge is really for. They need that space, or it's really, really helpful for them. And we want to reward their commitment to dance too, right? And we want to make sure that they have a spot to sit and eat. And so if the lounge is full of people who are just coming early to play in the lounge or staying late to play in the lounge, that it makes it harder for them to have space to do their homework or whatever it is. So we decided to put a lock on the door, make it just really exciting and fun. Only certain kids who've earned it, and here's how you earn it. So anyone can earn it if they want to. They do have to be a certain age, though, obviously. And then, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Spot TV. Every time I look, there's something else that, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like dirty handprints. There's kind of a shadow for you guys. Dirty handprints. Yep. I feel like I am sitting here working so hard to, get the bucket the water out of the boat, you know, and like people just keep drilling holes in it is what it feels like at this point. But I know that's because I'm tired and all that. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So anyway, so that's the point with the lounge, of having the lock on it. Sometimes you just need that accountability. And in this case, we can't put a staff member dedicated to the lounge. You know, that's already an investment for us to dedicate that much square footage, and, you know, buy the furniture and things like that and clean it and maintain it and buy new furniture when it gets ruined. So it's quite the investment for us into our kids anyway, which is fine, but we can't put a staff member there to hold them accountable to the rules. So hopefully this will help with that and really make it something that is enjoyable for those who've earned it. So he's working on that. I've honestly been vacuuming a lot. Again, as Spot TV was coming through here, they were just popping like all these ceiling tiles to run cords everywhere. And, you know, that just makes a mess when you move those ceiling tiles around. So, lots of vacuuming, cleaning, just picking up. Like we still had stuff that I honestly wasn't even aware of because I hadn't been out here. That like was still from open house. So we had like a random trash out here and we had a random plastic drawer, 3-drawer thing out here. And I was like, wait, no. So I picked that stuff up. So random stuff on the reception desk. And I really want that to be a very like sleek and clean look. And so I kind of cleaned that off. I just keep making lists of all the, you know, make a sign for this, make a sign for that. Do this, tell so-and-so to do this, right? There's all these things. So I keep adding to my list as I go. As soon as I think of it, I try to write it down because I know I will not remember. So yeah, and then I don't know if there's anything else we need to do tonight or not without looking at the list. But so we have something ready for, I can show you the student lounge, I guess. We have something ready for those kiddos at least, so that they have a space. Josh is still working on the lock here. Getting that lock figured out. It was kind of on there before, but now we're getting it all legit. So this is not 100% what I want the lounge to look like, but this is just our old furniture, some of it, our old furniture that was in the lounge, that we moved down here for now. And so that at least they have, you know, a place to sit and be and relax and eat if they need to. Like I said, study if they need to. So there'll be more furniture coming very soon to this space, and decorations, artwork, all that kind of stuff obviously is yet to come. Yeah. We did not have guest Wi-Fi before, and now we do. So a whole fun little amenity that our students and parents enjoy. So the next biggest thing is tomorrow morning. There's a lot to do before our staff training starts at 11:30 in the morning. So that's kind of going to be the tough part. I have a bunch of office work left to do tonight and prep for that. We've got to tape those floors upstairs tomorrow morning. I have to really finalize and pinpoint some systems. So this has been really challenging because until we're really in the building, it's hard for me to write a system for, let's say, reception closing out the night. Where do they go for cleaning supplies? Where do they find them? What exactly do they need to do? You know, empty the trash can by such and such. Well, I don't even know where the trash cans are, right? Like, we're just figuring that stuff out. And so it's really, really hard to come up with a system for that. But at the same time, you have to communicate that with people, right? Otherwise, what's going to happen is every day I come in here and I'll have to empty all the trash during the day. And that's just not a smart use of my time, especially when I've been doing so much of this physical work right now. I really need to get refocused on enrollment and leading staff and KPIs and all that kind of stuff, staff accountability. And so I really need to get refocused on that. And so it's important that staff, when they're here, know what their role is and what to do. But it's hard for me to tell them that yet when so much of the space is new and there's so much to cover. Reception, for example, needs to know how many trash cans are in their area that they're responsible for example. So yeah, that's a little bit tricky. And I was hoping, obviously, construction was supposed to be done August 1st. So, in theory right now it should be August 15th, maybe, right? And, I was hoping to have those last couple weeks before the season to really absorb all of that myself, kind of be a sponge and really get things figured out to how the building's going to work and where everything is located and organize things in a way that I felt good about and could communicate with the staff and that they could feel good about. So that's kind of the challenge right now. We're going to do our best. It is what it is. But yeah, if you see me this week, be patient with me. I'm very tired and, just working a lot and, I know it will all pay off for sure, but it's getting, like I said, down to the wire. So we're getting there. But yeah, so that's kind of what we have going on tonight. Boys get a sleepover at grandma's, so they're excited about that. I miss them, of course. I miss my kiddos. I haven't seen them a whole lot in the last couple weeks. But again, it's a season of life. It's a season of life, like we talked about earlier. So, all right, guys, we are going to keep working. If nothing much changes, this will probably be the end of the vlog. If there's something else exciting to show you, then I'll show you. All right? Bye, guys. Really weird lighting here, guys. Hi. But it is about 11. It's just after 11 o'clock. We're going to have to be back pretty early in the morning, so we are calling it a night. But I wanted to show you one other thing quick that you haven't seen yet. So I wanted to show you. The sign lit up at night. So that's exciting. I left the studio light on. Whoops. That'll happen. I want to check out one more thing really quick. I'm going to drive out into the road just for a second, but I'm going to guess at 11 p.m. there's not a ton of cars. Not a ton. I want to see if this front monument light, no. So the front monument light is not lit up, and it should be. So that's something that we're going to work on, but there she is. So exciting. All right, guys, I'm going to go home and sleep for a few hours. Tomorrow's a big day. Lots to do to finish this up. I would not recommend, I'm just going to tell you, I would not recommend at this point leaving yourself only a month of a buffer on construction. I think you need more like 2 months of a buffer. Assume it's going to go a month over and then really calculate the stuff that you need to get done. That's something we didn't do very well. We thought the month buffer would be fine, and it's not. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's not going to get done, and I hate that because one of our core values is excellence, and that's like really important to me. So it's just really, it's hard on me to not have it be where I want it. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, if at all in your control, I would do 2 months. I would do 2 months of a buffer for sure. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go home and sleep for a little bit, get into more traffic area, so I probably should stop vlogging. All right, good night, guys.